It doesn't start toxic. It doesn't start controlling or confusing or even painful. It starts really small, almost unnoticeable. A comment here, a little reaction there, something that feels just a little bit off. But it's not bad enough to question it yet. It's definitely not bad enough to leave. So you just brush it off. And over time, those small things start turning into something so much bigger. Are you ready to win despite everyone who's ever said you wouldn't? Then let's go. It's time to prove those doubters wrong. Hi, and welcome to the Last Laugh, No Apologies podcast. I'm your host, Kristine Christensen. I'm a mom, passionate entrepreneur, and success coach. If you're ready to finally flip the script on all those doubts in your head and the doubters in your life that have been holding you back, you, my friend, are in the right place. It's time to dust off that crown, show them what you're made of, and remind them that you are the main character in this life story. Get ready, because you're about to make them regret that they ever doubted you, and I'm here to cheer you on. Each week, we'll dive into mindset shifts, inspiring stories, and practical strategies that are designed to help you realize your worth, embrace the amazing woman that you are, and step into your power so you can start living your life unapologetically. It's time for some real talk, some laughs, and some transformation. Are you ready? Okay, let's dive into today's episode. Hey, it's Kristine. Welcome back to the Last Laugh, No Apologies podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. So, I think we all know that nobody really wakes up one day and says, you know what? I think I'm going to end up in a toxic relationship. I know that sounds goofy to say, but let's get real for a minute. It does actually start with things like, oh, he just gets a little bit jealous because he cares. Or maybe she just needs a little reassurance once in a while. Or the famous, it's not a big deal. And those things eventually start to feel normal. It doesn't start toxic, but it definitely becomes that way over time, slowly, but surely. Let's talk about those subtle red flags because this is where it gets real. The signs are there, but they're just small. So you might be facing the old double standard. What's okay for them definitely doesn't fly for you. And jealousy can be disguised as care. So they just say things like, I just don't like other people looking at you, or I just don't like you talking to other guys or other girls, or basically getting any type of attention at all. And you find yourself walking on eggshells all the damn time, just so that you don't upset them. And then there's the emotional pullback. This is when you think you've done everything right, but in their eyes, they're trying to remind you that you did something wrong. They give you the silent treatment and they become distant. They don't talk. And you start feeling like you need to explain yourself for every damn thing all of the time. And at first, you adjust. You start to accommodate. And you just try like hell to make it work because, after all, you love them, right? And they love you. So we tend to ignore what is actually going on because we're afraid. We're afraid because we care. We still see the good in them. God forbid we overreact, right? And we just think it'll get better. If I can just do this, if I can just get it right, everything's going to be okay. So you carry all that responsibility, and then slowly you start questioning yourself instead of questioning their behavior. And you don't lose yourself all at once. Oh no. You lose yourself in small moments where you just stop listening to your heart and to your gut. And I think this is the part where most women get stuck because you notice something feels off, right? But then you talk yourself out of it and you make excuses. I want to give you something really simple that you can start using right away because I truly believe that awareness is a powerful thing, but it's only powerful if you actually use it. So I want to share the red flag reset. It's a simple 3-step process. Step one is to notice. So I want you to ask yourself, what just happened? And when you're in that moment, don't think about what it means or what you think they intended. Just what was actually said, what was done, and what really just happened. So an example might be he just checked who liked my post and then questioned me about it. Step two is name. So ask yourself, how did that make me feel? Not what you think you should be feeling, but what you actually felt in that moment. Were you anxious, confused, guilty, maybe on edge or small? So you might answer that like, I felt like I had to explain myself, like I did something wrong. And step three is to check. So I want you to ask yourself, is this how I really want to feel in a relationship? And this is the power step. If the answer is hell no, that's your signal. Not to panic, not to leave immediately, but simply to start paying attention instead of just brushing it off. If you wouldn't choose that feeling, do not ignore the behavior that brought it to you. And when you can start doing that, you begin to trust yourself again. You stop ignoring the small things, and that is where everything starts to change. So, this is what I want you to start noticing. Not the big, obvious problems, but those small things that just feel a little bit off. Ask yourself, do I feel like I can be myself? Do I feel respected right now? And do I feel at ease or am I on edge? Because one thing I can tell you is that healthy relationships do not make you question yourself constantly, feel controlled, or feel like you're never enough. You don't need to have all the answers right away. You just need to stop ignoring what it is that you're feeling, because chances are you've been feeling those things for a long time. I've seen these patterns from both sides, and what I've learned is that they don't just show up overnight. They build and build. And if you don't recognize them early, they do become something much harder to walk away from later. I can tell you this firsthand. This is why this work is something that I care so deeply about. Helping women recognize these patterns and rebuild themselves before they lose who they are in the entire process. So, I want to share one more tool with you before we end here. And this is something that I call the self-trust check. So, it's going to help you recognize those red flags and reconnect with yourself internally. So the process is to step one, ask yourself, what is my gut telling me in this moment? And we're not talking logic or excuses, just your first instinct. And then next, ask, what am I afraid will happen if I actually listen to it? Because this is huge. Usually, what you're afraid of is losing them. You might be afraid of conflict or being too much or even just being wrong. But be honest with yourself. And finally, ask yourself, what would I choose if I fully trusted myself in this moment? That is the truth question. Because you don't really struggle to trust yourself. You struggle to act on what you already know. I want to remind you as we close out this episode to trust the small things, those feelings that you brush off, the moments that you question, and all of the things that just don't quite sit right. Because those are the things that are usually the beginning of everything.